we're coming live to you from Comms vNext. I'm here with the Partner IQ team, and we also got Mark Bunnel from New Wave. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Mark Bunnel. I'm Chief Operating Officer and co-founder at New Wave. So I handle all the day-to-day operations of the global business, the customer experience, and the architecture of our iPilot software platform.
Justin Stevens, Managing Partner and Co-founder at Partner IQ, helping partners with their Microsoft journey.
I'm Max Beeh, also co-founder and managing partner.
And I'm Amanda Sapata, Head of Marketing at Partner IQ. And we're here to talk about simplifying UC management. That's really where Mark comes in with New Wave. Let's talk a little bit more about that and what we're seeing driving the need for the simplification.
Well, I think that people are looking for automation, simplicity, having everything in one place. So each of the UC providers, Teams has an end user client experience. But if you're expecting people to go from an on-premise phone system to a cloud phone system, you have to have the same level of visibility and control over that cloud phone system as if it was on-prem. And so, that's what New Wave and iPilot does, is provides all that simplicity. So if you're looking to order numbers and do migrations from on-prem to cloud and have all the analytics and CDRs and real-time graphs, just everything that you need to be able to do, that's where we live. So we want to make it simple. We want to make the user interface incredibly intuitive, just so that anyone can really plug in and do anything as it relates to voice management.
Yeah, awesome. So
I think, Amanda, from the partner perspective, just chime in here, we see a lot of complexities in the day-to-day administration.
Okay.
And, we find talent coming into the community and graduating or moving into other roles, it becomes difficult to absorb all the things you need to know. And it's not like there's a book anywhere anymore. So how do you become proficient in managing platforms like Microsoft Teams? Sure. And I think the automation demand that's been created for a New Wave to develop this automation platform, the timing is just absolutely perfect, is we have a lot of engineers saying, look, I don't have the time to learn absolutely everything. Could you simplify it for me? And the easeability that's been developed with iPilot, single pane of glass, click to activate, click to join, click to automate. It just brings a lot of that speciality to reduce the complexities for the engineers, and almost pushes down various layers, right? Where it used to be a tier 3, a tier 4 engineer, now we're finding it could be all the way down to a tier 1, a help desk, because a customer service representative can do a lot of administration, daily things like move, add, change, delete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's look a little bit more into the timing. Like right now, there's a lot of shifts going on in technology. Why should we look to simplifying management now?
Well, I think that it's just getting to the point where you don't want to be beholden to a carrier or someone else. As a partner, you want to have your own practice. You want to be in control and put the control in your hands or your customer's hands so that they can do a lot of the work themselves, right? If you're doing migrations, you're going to be doing maintenance windows possibly and things like that. And so you want to be able to coordinate those things and handle those things whenever you want to. And if you move something and you didn't really work the way that you wanted to, or you made a mistake and you want to move it back, you can do that. And so it's at your discretion. You don't have to put in a ticket ahead of time. You don't have to wait for them to respond. Because let's be honest, carriers take forever to do things. And so you want to be able to do it when you want, on demand, versus waiting 30, 60, 90 days for something else to come together for you to be able to do what you want to do.
That's not unrealistic, right? The 30, 60, 90-day change control for
sure.
A number port, a number change. If it doesn't go correctly, right, then you have to resubmit and wait that time where, right, with
especially during maintenance windows, right? If you're trying to do something from midnight to 3 a.m., right, coordinating with a carrier to get somebody available to if you can even get somebody to help you and not charge exorbitant rates, per hour to do so, for after hours, right? So if you're able to do that yourself whenever you want without having to coordinate, maybe you have an emergency, maybe you want to do it tonight. There's no way you're going to get a carrier to do that.
Moving a whole number block, a number range, there's an opportunity for a site migration, or you're in the middle of site migration and
exactly.
Executives say, I don't want to move this number block or this number range, and coordinating that in weekends or late nights, like you said, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, everything we do is on demand, provisionable immediately. You see the results, so you're able to, see it right now and make sure that it's taken place. And like I said, if you've moved over some users that shouldn't have been in the batch, you can just simply move them back, and that's key.
Yeah, so I think you've kind of alluded to some of this already, but what are some of those gotchas? Like when we're deploying teams, what are some of those things that you got to think of that Most people don't.
Well, I think that there's a lot of different things. I mean, you try to when you have a very legacy environment. So if you're a state and local government or you're a university, right? You have a lot of legacy, a lot of different systems that you don't know kind of what string to pull first. You want to move to the cloud, but you don't know what to do first. And so what this voice enablement platform does is it gives you the ability to use your on-premise legacy systems to route your numbers there via SIP trunks, and so that nothing changes, right? You have your steady state, and then at your leisure you can then move it to Teams, and then while you move it to Teams you provision those users up, and if you only move to batch, then we combine the routing from your legacy phone system to your Teams, and we combine those into one phone system, so extension dialing between your on-prem and your Teams users, as well as regular on-net calling, all of those things remain intact. So we do little things like that really keep those things front and center, and then when you want to add additional numbers or emergency services or manipulate your calling party number or do any of those ancillary things that are required that typically a carrier has to do for you, and you can do those things yourself, then it puts all the control in your hands so that you can again migrate and handle those things, and so no PowerShell required on any of your users. So it's really a full service. If I want to activate third-party apps like SMS or call recording, those types of things, or route from a contact center, and you have this hybrid environment, because no two customers have the same environment. They're all different.
Right.
And so to be able to mix and match all of these different components in one place is something that doesn't exist anywhere else.
I think there's something you mentioned in there, the simplification that's being provided, and what we see from the consulting world, or maybe just putting on my older hat here, helping customers in their journey, was this paralysis of migration, right? I can't start my migration until I figured out all the technical solutions for all the areas, and I think part of what you're saying there is there's the ability to move solution blocks through the SIP trunking and through that bridging that you provide into the various solutions. You can move the contact center when you want to. You can move the paging when you want to. You can move common area when you want to. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Right, because your old system is intact, right? Yeah. So your beginning state is there. You always have something to fall back on, right? Because that's already been migrated. And so when you have the ability to do it whenever you want, however you want, that's absolutely key.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mark, do you feel like the business blockers are in place too, along with the technical blockers? Do you feel like there's a difference between the two?
Our philosophy is anytime we see a real-world blocker, that we instantly bring that into the platform. So the platform is not robust because we're geniuses or it's by intelligent design. It's really because we're good listeners, right? We listen to what our customers say. When they bring us a blocker that says we can't move because of this, we instantly architect that out. We add it to the system very quickly. We have a huge dev team, and so we turn things out in weeks, not quarters or years. And so iPilot is a culmination of all of these different use cases that people have brought to us over time that enables us to add all of those things so that we don't have business blockers and we don't have any kind of technical blockers. It's truly a mix and match hybrid approach to mold the iPilot in the environment to whatever the customer has, and that's why you can bring in all of those different components that make sense for that specific business.
Well, let's circle a little bit more back to partners. I'd like to hear a little bit more how partners can work with you all, and then how Partner IQ kind of comes into play into all that.
We're extremely partner friendly. I mean, that's the only way we really go to market now, is we support our partners. And so we give them a practice for Teams, and whether that be DR or OC, we even have the ability to give people who aren't an OC carrier their own OC practice. So it can be white labeled under their own brand. They have an OC experience that they can send out to their customers. And we have a whole partner enablement program that gives all the training and documentation, go to market, all of those things. Because iPilot is very simple, but you still have to have all the support of documentation, training modules, and things to bring people up to speed. And so whether you're an SI, an MSP, a CSP, any of the above, you then have the ability to act like a carrier, to bring all the simplicity to your customers, and you can provision it on their behalf. Now, we have customer self-service, and if you choose not to give that because that's not your model, maybe you're an MSP and your model is to do MACDs and things like that, on behalf of those customers, you also have that methodology. And then all the help and everything, is all inside of the portal. It knows what page you're on, and so when you launch the help, it'll give you specifically, you probably want to know how to do this or that based on the page you're on. So it's very simple in providing the help so that partners and customers can self-serve. Now, of course, if they want to call up to us and say, I need some additional help, we're there to help and support, but we make the support inside the portal so robust that typically you don't need to ask for any help because it'll know the page you're on and it'll provide suggestions on how to do any of the functions on that page.
Sounds like there could be just an entire business dedicated to this solution.
For sure, for sure.
So on the Partner IQ side, where we're looking to help and where we come in, it's a great solution. There's a lot of automation there for partners that are looking to pivot their business to Teams, become a better Microsoft partner. We work with companies like New Wave to then elevate the Teams solution, but there's things that have to be wrapped around that to become a great Microsoft partner. Generally, that starts with a strategy, with a blueprint, with how do I take a solution like New Wave and iPilot into my customer base? How do I take that into market? And then how do I layer that with a Microsoft strategy and plan? And that's where we come in. We provide that plan. A lot of cases that'll start with, let's take the strategy and implement you into marketplace. So you're taking that first Microsoft KPI that's becoming absolutely critical, especially as the next year pops up. How do you then start driving license share, the E5 revenue or the E5 license with Teams, and continue that KPI journey? So we'll help kind of check those boxes.
And that's not an easy process. Right? So,
sure it is.
Sometimes there's some hand-holding and coaching necessary. So we feel like we can certainly add that to the mix.
For sure. Anything else that y'all want to add to our conversation today as we wrap up?
I would just say that with our platform and our partner support, they're future-proof, right? I know we're here at the preeminent Teams conference, but we're also multi-UC. So if you're doing Zoom and WebEx as a partner, and you don't want to lose that business, right? Because you're not going to win 100% on one product, and if you need others, then that's available. But the innovation, the pace of innovation that we do to keep adding features and functionality to the platform to keep all of our partners, in that future-proof state. So when you talk about additional things with Copilot integration, that's all coming into iPilot as well as security. So when you talk about, monitoring, customer endpoints from an administration and being able to do, Sentinel and Purview, so managing your security licenses in the dashboard, so for threats and those types of things, so those are some of the roadmap items that are coming out to make sure that we're not standing still, right? You always need something new, and as customers give us that feedback, we'll add it to the platform, and so we want to make sure that everyone knows that we're a custom shop, and we're not afraid to take feedback and add more features and functionality. If it makes sense, then we'll push it out to the entire ecosystem.
Sounds like you're constantly evolving and making changes based off of the customer's needs, and that's what we need nowadays.
And partner needs too, as well.
Yeah, it's not that if you build it, they will come. It's we want to build the things that are relevant to the real world that's actually feet on the street, that's giving us that knowledge, right? It's not rocket science. We don't have to go do a think tank. It's just listen to your customers, and they'll tell you exactly what they need.
It's great philosophy. Just listen.
Yeah.
Listen, then do, right?
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us today. It was a great conversation.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Mark.